Welcome to Building Dreams, the construction journey. I'm Manjunath, and I'm here to take you step by step through the amazing process of building something from the ground up. Whether you're talking about a house, a skyscraper, or even a bridge, every construction project follows the same basic roadmap. We're going to break it down into 7 key stages, starting with the crucial planning and design phase, and taking you all the way to the final inspection and handover. By the time we're done, you'll have a solid understanding of what it takes to make those blueprints a reality. This isn't just about bricks and mortar, folks. It's about making dreams come true. So, let's get down to business and start building. Every successful construction project starts with a solid plan. We're not talking about some scribbles on a napkin here. This is where the real groundwork gets laid. Architects and engineers, they're the pros. They take your vision and translate it into detailed blueprints. These plans, they're not just pretty pictures, they're the instructions that tell every contractor and subcontractor exactly what to do. You're looking at the layout, the materials, the structural design. Everything's got to be thought out. And don't forget about the permits. Trust me, dealing with building codes and regulations, that's not something you want to mess around with. Getting those permits in order, that's got to be a top priority right from the get-go. This planning and design phase, it might seem like a lot of paperwork and red tape, but it's the foundation for a successful project. You cut corners here, you're just asking for trouble down the line. A good plan, it keeps everyone on the same page, prevents costly mistakes, and ensures you end up with a building that's safe, sound, and meets your vision. Remember, a little planning up front saves a whole lot of headaches later on. Alright, we've got our plans, permits are in hand, it's time to get our hands dirty. Site preparation, this is where the transformation begins. First things first, we gotta bring in the surveyors. These guys, they're the ones who establish the exact boundaries of the property. They make sure everything's square, level, and where it's supposed to be. You don't want your foundation ending up on your neighbor's property, do you? Next up, excavation. Depending on the project, this could mean anything from digging a small trench for foundations to clearing and leveling an entire building site. Heavy machinery's coming in, bulldozers, excavators, the works. Then comes the grading. This is all about shaping the land to provide proper drainage and create a level base for the foundation. You don't want water pooling around your new building, trust me. Proper site preparation, it's like laying the groundwork for a house. You wouldn't build a house on unstable ground, would you? Same principle applies here. Get this part right, and you're setting yourself up for a smooth construction process. Alright, the site's prepped, time to start building. And we always start from the ground up with the foundation. This is what supports the entire weight of the structure, so it's got to be rock solid, no compromises. Now, the type of foundation you need, it depends on the soil conditions, the size of the building, and the climate. You got your shallow foundations like slabs and crawl spaces. Those are good for stable ground. Then you got your deep foundations like piles and caissons. Those are necessary when you're dealing with weaker soil or heavier buildings. They go deep down to find solid bedrock to support the load. No matter what type of foundation you're using, it's all about concrete and steel. Forms are built to contain the concrete pour, and steel reinforcing bars, we call them rebar, are added for strength. This is precision work, folks. The foundation's got to be level, it's got to be properly cured, and it's got to be built to code. Any mistakes here, they'll come back to haunt you later on. Cracks, settling, structural problems, you name it. So, remember, the foundation, it's not something you see once the building's up, but it's the most important part of the whole structure. Get it right, and you've got a solid base for everything that comes after. With a strong foundation in place, it's time to see some real progress. Time to build the skeleton of our structure, the structural framework. This is what gives the building its shape and strength. Now, depending on the design and the local building practices, you're going to see different materials used for framing. Wood, steel, concrete, sometimes a combination of all three. Each material has its own advantages and challenges. Wood framing, it's classic, it's versatile, it's what we use a lot in residential construction. Steel framing, that's more common in commercial buildings, it's strong, it's fire resistant, and it can span greater distances. Once the framing's up, we got to think about protecting it from the elements. That means installing sheathing, a layer of material that covers the exterior walls and roof. Then comes the roofing itself, shingles, tiles, metal, lots of options there. This stage of construction, it's exciting because you really start to see the building take shape, but it's also a critical stage because any errors in the framing can lead to structural problems down the road. So, It's crucial that everything's plumb, level, and properly braced. The last thing you want is a wonky wall or a sagging roof. Good framing, it's all about precision and attention to detail. With the skeleton up and weather-tight, it's time to turn our attention to the inside. This is where we start enclosing the structure and installing the essential systems that'll make this building functional. First up, the exterior walls. We're talking insulation, vapor barriers, sheathing, and finally, the exterior cladding. Brick, siding, stucco, whatever the design calls for. This is all about protecting the structure from the elements and giving it that finished look. Next, we tackle the windows and doors. Proper installation is key here, folks. You want them to be airtight, watertight, and operate smoothly. Leaky windows and doors, they'll cost you a fortune in energy bills down the road. Now it's time to bring in the rough-ins for the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. This includes running pipes for water and drainage, installing ductwork for HVAC, and wiring up the electrical system. This stage, it's all about coordination. The different trades, they gotta work together seamlessly, making sure everything fits together properly. You don't want a pipe running through the middle of a doorway, do you? Remember, this is like the circulatory system of the building. It's what brings in the essential services and makes it livable. So it's crucial that it's done right, to code, and with an eye towards energy efficiency. With the building enclosed and the systems roughed in, it's time to start adding the finishing touches, both inside and out. This is where the building really starts to feel like a home, or an office, or whatever it's meant to be. Inside, we're talking about installing drywall, painting, putting in flooring, cabinets, countertops, all that good stuff. It's all about creating a functional and aesthetically pleasing space. Outside, we're focusing on the landscaping, walkways, driveways, and any other exterior features. This is about creating that curb appeal, making the building blend in with its surroundings, and enhancing the overall aesthetic. Now this stage, it involves a lot of subcontractors. You got your drywallers, your painters, your electricians, your plumbers, your tile setters. The list goes on. It's like a carefully choreographed dance. Everyone's got to be on the same page. And don't forget about the details. Things like trim work, hardware, fixtures, they might seem small, but they make a big difference. It's all about quality, folks. You want materials that are durable, easy to maintain, and stand the test of time. Remember, this is the final impression, the part that everyone sees and interacts with. So it's worth taking the time to get it right. Choose quality materials, pay attention to detail, and don't be afraid to put your own personal stamp on the project. Alright folks, we're in the home stretch now, the final inspections and handover. This is where we make sure everything's up to code, all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and the building's ready for its occupants. First up, we gotta get the green light from the building inspector. They're gonna come in, they're gonna check everything, make sure it meets all the building codes, safety regulations, the whole 9 yards. We're talking about structural integrity, fire safety, electrical systems, plumbing, you name it, they're checking it. This is to protect you, the owner, and ensure that the building is safe and sound. Once we get the thumbs up from the inspector, it's time to put the finishing touches on the project. We're talking about final cleaning, adjusting doors and windows, maybe a fresh coat of paint here and there. Then comes the moment we've all been waiting for, the handover. We hand over the keys to the owner, they can finally see their vision come to life. It's a proud moment for everyone involved, and a testament to all the hard work and dedication. But our job's not done yet. We walk the owner through the building, explain how everything works, answer any questions they might have. We want them to be comfortable and confident in their new space. And that's it, folks. The construction journey from start to finish. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of coordination, but the end result, seeing that happy look on the owner's face, that makes it all worthwhile. And there you have it, the essential steps of construction from start to finish. We've gone from the initial planning stages all the way to the final handover, covering each step in detail. Remember, whether you're building a modest home or a towering skyscraper, the basic principles remain the same. It's all about careful planning, quality construction, and meticulous attention to detail. Don't cut corners, hire reputable contractors, and never be afraid to ask questions. After all, this is your dream we're building here. Stay tuned for more informative guides on building and construction. We'll be diving deeper into specific topics, sharing expert tips, and answering all your burning questions. Until next time, happy building.